know had a microphone. Thank you all for my late arrival. Did everybody see the minutes? Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, they will stand approved as printed. Treasurer's report.
Okay. Okay, the treasurer's report, this is for the month of February. Our operating fund receipts were $284.38. Our expenses were only $72.40. So we made a difference in our favor, $211.98 for the month of February. Our assets. In checking, we have $4,034.47. Our money market is $22,855.74. Our petty cash is $100. And the dreaded quarters. I'm going to get rid of that. I really am.
We've had them for 10 years.
Well, okay, I'm going to get rid of them. It's $5.50.
It's left over from the show.
Oh.
They're Oklahoma Memorial Quarters.
Okay.
And we've got this fine. I'll bring them next time if anybody wants them. I'll straight them out.
Yeah, that's good.
I got them here anyway. I got them here anyway. I'll trade them out. So our grand total for the month of February, we're at $26,995.71.
I make a motion that we
Anybody wants a copy of this? I have a copy.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as proposed.
Is there a second? Right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Al.
Is there any old business to discuss other than the show and the... Janet, do you want to do the show at this point in time?
I can. Okay, first of all, the Soroka show. How many people are going to the Tulsa Soroka show? Good. April 19th, 2021. That weekend. I need to know if anybody's going Friday that can help us set up the OOS exhibit. Okay, great. And, okay, good. And then tear down as well, starts at 4 on Sundays from 4 to 6, so we've got 2 hours to tear
I
down.
won't be there Sunday.
Okay. My husband will be
I'm going to be out Sunday.
good.
I'll bring the lights to our next meeting.
We'll have to send them probably with the McCabe's.
Okay.
And then we need people's plants for the Oklahoma Orchid Society exhibit. So if you have a plant or 2 or 3 that you want to put in our exhibit at the Tulsa show, please have them to me or the McCabe's by the Thursday evening before at 7 p.m. Make sure your name is on the pot and make sure you have a completed show tag made out. And next month when we have our presentation about, well, that won't be till after the show.
No,
Will people show up before the show? Okay, so we have some extra plant tags, so if you know that you're going to have some plants that you want, we'll send some home with you so that you can go ahead and get them made out ahead of time, because I have to make all the actual formal labels and stuff for the plants. Our show, Candy needs one person to help her set up the Oklahoma Orchid Society exhibit for our show on Mother's Day weekend. Please consider helping her.
What day is that?
Mother's Day, yeah, Mother's Day weekend. It's still Mother's Day weekend, but this year, 2019 show will be the weekend before Mother's Day. So we still have some big holes in our help list, particularly for plant raffle sales, Saturday 12 to 2 and 2 to 4, which need one person to do that. Sunday from 12 to 2 and then 2 to 3, or however you want to divide that up. That's a super important part to get us, to help us raise money to help pay for the show. Orchids in use, the categories are out. Miss Linda Lawson right here is the person that you need to let know if you are going to put one or more exhibits in for orchids in use. We sent a memo out by email not too long ago when we got the list from Linda. So please consider putting in orchids in use. Are really fun. We will have our usual cattleyas and novelty orchids from Hausermans. They donate some and we pay for the rest, but we don't charge those anyone who's using them to make their design for orchids in use. It's all free. You just have to bring your props and whatever. Still need orchid magazines, Orchid Digest. Any ones that you don't want, you can bring. I'll take them because we hand them out as people come in. I think that's it on our show. Please consider looking at the help list. Hospitality still needs help as well.
Jan and I discussed this earlier. There are 2 Facebook pages out there for the Oklahoma Society, Orchid Society. Neither one of them has any information about the show.
Who put those together, do you know?
Well, one of them is closed, and I think one of them is closed, and Mike Friday is still in charge of that one. And I thought that there was another administrator, that he's still the only one.
I thought somebody was going to call Mike.
No, Gabriel's been managing our Facebook, right?
Michael has been posting on Facebook, and I have been posting some things. I thought that I posted the poster on Facebook, but it's not on Facebook. It's on a website. I'm working on it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I
Are
think
you
Ryan, you
administrator
have,
on it too? Because the website, the Facebook page still shows him as the only administrator.
I thought somebody was going to join him on that and get the password or something.
well, Gabriel's got it. I just don't know how that all.
Yeah, Mike gave me access. I have partial access to it, but he is the main administrator of it.
He's just not very active and he's out of town a lot.
Yeah,
And he now has those.
Okay, and Brian has the other Facebook page for Oklahoma City, Friends of the Oklahoma Orchid Society.
Me?
Uh-huh.
Me?
Yeah, I saw it too, yes, I brought my book.
We'll check into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look because I wasn't sure. They might have got linked to me
There
somehow.
hasn't been any activity on it for a year.
Okay.
Would that not be the one that goes with Mirrored Gardens Oak Club, Orchid?
No, this is
Separate.
the Friends of the Oklahoma Orchid Society. It is a Facebook song.
We'll check into
The
that.
other
Yeah,
Facebook
let's take a look at it
site
because I
is
wasn't.
the Oklahoma Orchid Society, and that's the old Mike Brian.
Okay, thank you. We'll check into it.
And I found more information out too. I was looking at some of the posts from other clubs on Facebook. I have found out new information on how we can post our shows or any other information on 2 websites. The first one is affiliated with the AOS, and it's the Affiliated Societies of the American Orchid Society.
Would you like to do that?
No, not really. I don't know.
Okay, I'll find somebody.
And the other one is Orchid Shows, Sales, and Auctions. The first one is a closed group, which means you have to join. The second one is a public group, which you can go in and post, but you need to join it also.
Okay, would somebody like to do that? I am not computer literate. I can
Well,
barely do Facebook.
we need someone that knows how to deal with Facebook to do it. And I also brought my laptop to show you guys both sides. And the both.
Is there someone that would like to take on that today?
Okay, I'm working on this, so I have not been paying attention to it, but I can talk about it later with somebody about how to do it. Okay?
Thank you.
One other thing on the Soroka, they said, for the people that are registered, I don't know if everybody got it, but day before yesterday, they posted their itinerary events for the Tulsa show. I've got a couple extra copies, I'll send them over here, just if people want to know. Their plant registration and exhibit registration closes at 4. Our closes at 5, theirs closes at 4 on Friday, so just to let you know.
Okay, they have posted new information on Soroga, because I've been looking at those too. And they're very bad about sitting there and posting things outside of Oklahoma. I mean, out of Texas.
Okay, we'll work on that. Is there new business other than what I have? We have the plant sale for, that we need to be thinking about. You know, that really should come under Garden Council, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it now because I've got my list here. We send a representative to Garden Council, but we as a club are supposed to support their efforts, and your representatives brings the information back to you. We don't get a lot of support from this group, but we get some. Half a dozen people have sent plants in the past, but mostly it's the Parkers that are covering it. So we need plants for the plant sale for Garden Council on 4/21. They should be things that you dig out of your garden that will grow in Oklahoma. House plants are fine. What we really need are things to plant in the yard. The bus tour. Garden Council is doing a bus tour to Bastani Plant Farm. If you haven't been to Bastani Plant Farm, you're missing out. It's really a great place. He goes all over the world and collects plants. Then he comes back and tries to grow them in Oklahoma, and if he can, then he hybridizes them. So you really see things there that you don't see anyplace else. He's got a lovely, lovely greenhouse you could eat off the floor, literally. And he's got lovely gardens. So it's a really, yes.
Did they have another one, or is that the one in Stillwater?
It's in Stillwater.
Okay,
So that's the reason we're
We've gone
doing
out
it.
there when we went up to visit Catherine.
That's the reason we're doing a bus tour. So the bus tour is April 17th. You need to get your reservations in if you're planning to go. And then we're going to sashay by the OSU gardens and look at those on the way home. We leave here at 8 a.m. Yes,
There's a notice posted out in the lobby
right.
with the particulars on that.
Right. So we leave at 8 a.m. and we should be back by 3-ish. If you just want to ride the bus and take a sack lunch, it's 30. If you want somebody to prepare a sack lunch, it's 40.
What day of the week is it?
Tuesday,
April
April
17th.
17th. And you give your reservations to Carla. Okay.
What time is the plant sale for
The plant sale starts at 9 and goes until we sell out of plants, but we're usually through by 3.
Okay,
That's on what day?
Yes.
the poster is already on Facebook, okay?
Thank you. April plant sale. April 21st is the plant sale.
The same day as the Tulsa show.
It's the same day as Soroga, which is really hard for me. But I'm going to go to the plant sale and work, and I'll be packed, and I'll leave there at 3, and I'll be in Tulsa by 5. Okay?
I have something to say, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be here for April's meeting, so and I'm leaving around the 10th, so I'm going to need to, anybody that needs something posted on Facebook or on the website to let me know or give me all that information before, the first week of April.
The first week of April.
Yes,
is gonna
please.
be any information that we want posted.
Yeah, because I'm going to be out of the country and I'm not going to be able to, I don't have access to my computer.
Did you ask us if you could leave the country? When will you be back?
Until, I'm going to be here for the Tulsa show.
Okay, well, have a good time wherever you're going.
Thank you.
And then the other thing I will talk about with the Garden Council, I'll do that this festival, I'll talk about that then. Any other new business? Okay. The AOS rep.
I have an the announcement real quick.
Okay.
We sent out an email too about this, but Kansas Orchid Society, they're doing another trip to Ecuador, to Ecuagenera, June 2nd through the 17th. They're looking for 4 more people to go. If you're interested, you can email Brian Rinke or call him. They have to have their list of people going there by the end of March, so.
That's a 2-week tour. I looked at that,
And they
can't be
have-
gone 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have Ecuagenera has like it's not a bunkhouse, it's nicer than that, but they have a place where you stay and they go on day trips. So if anybody's interested, just get a hold of Brian Rinke.
Orchid Digest,
Did you want to go over AOS?
it's on my list.
That's,
AOS.
okay. Well, I rushed out of the house, so anxious to get here. And I forgot all that stuff. But nonetheless,
We're glad to see you back.
bless your heart. For those that are challenged in the pronunciation, in every orchid magazine, up front, is a list of all the names of all the orchids you see in that publication. So you might look at that for learning how to pronounce. And back a little farther in there, our botanical terms that judging centers use. So both cases, just study those words every month, and you look, kind of get the rhythm of being able to pronounce those things. But AOS it's a good magazine, and they still have the $30 coupon where I guess it's about 22 vendors on a $100 purchase. So, it's worth the time, plus they have several interesting articles in it, and some good pictures. Now, you probably want to know about the Judging Center.
Next.
Okay. Well, there were 6 of us up there, and they all had 4 plants to judge. And I can tell you there was 1 CBR and 1 A certificate of botanical recognition and 1 award of merit given. So, but I can't tell you what those are. I'll tell you next month. Sorry.
Sorogo, we've already talked about, but it is in Tulsa. If you haven't been to a Sorogo show, is that what you're saying?
Not working.
It's not working?
Yes?
There's a light green. Light green.
Lights green. Okay, the Sorogo show is in, now is it working?
Yeah, sure.
Is in, they want me to talk loud. The Sorogo show is in Tulsa. Guys, if you haven't been to a Sorogo show and you just don't want to travel that far, this is your opportunity to go to an orchid show. And it's really a lot of fun, and you see things sometimes at Sorogo shows you don't see any other time, and you meet people that you don't see any other time. So try to make it. Are you standing for digest? I skipped over it. That's all right.
I just wanted to announce that the Orchid Digest Corporation has, I think, 1 or 2 memberships open. So we have the application for membership. If you're interested, see me.
That's a completely volunteer organization, and they do put out a lovely magazine, the prettiest pictures you can imagine in that magazine. My problem is that I just had magazines stacked everywhere until we started giving them away. It's real hard for me to let go of those things after I get them. But anyway, it's really a good publication also. Garden Council. The Garden Council sale is the 21st, and I've kind of said, you guys are supposed to participate in that. We will open at 9. We need your plants, or 10, someplace in there we open. There will be people standing at the door, so as soon as we can, we let them in, but we do need your plants. There's really nothing else about the Garden Council, except you all are welcome to come to those meetings. They are always the 3rd Friday of the month. We have a lovely brunch or breakfast. And then we always have a program, and those programs are things that often, you all wouldn't see as an orchid society, and they're all, very interesting. So feel free to come and visit. We'd like to have you. I will tell you, don't be careful though, because I visited once and became president. So You want to be careful about that. Yes,
Who do we call to, like, if I want to volunteer to do some work here Tuesday afternoon?
Jim Woolley, and he would love for you to, he
Just
would
call the
love for you to
office.
do that.
Just call the office.
I will give you his phone number, and he would be delighted for you to have it. He, incidentally, you know, we have to volunteer at the Will Rogers Garden Center so many hours per year in order to afford our room. They have raised our rent. Everybody in this class needs to do something. We also have to give 2 classes a year, and I had mentioned in the last meeting that I helped somebody volunteered for the festival to put together a little, this is how you repot your orchid. That would count 8 hours. That's a lot. And I thought we would just get a bucket of potty mix and have an orchid there, and we will repot it until it dies, you know, for the public. So I have an orchid or 2 that we could do that with, and probably need repotting. So I've got a lot of potty mix that I don't use anymore, and I thought we'd just put it in a big bucket, but somebody has to man that. So if somebody would volunteer to do that, that would be 1 class.
I won't mind doing it, but it has to be after 1 p.m.
Okay. Our other, well, you know, very few people are going to stand there long enough to let us pot an orchid, but we've got to make the effort, and there's got to be somebody doing that. And the other class will be in conjunction with our show. So someone, and last year you did it, did we have anybody come?
Oh, when I did the class, we had 6 people.
6 people, well, that's good. Anyway, we get 8 hours for that.
You know, I talked to Ken just the other night, and there's a misunderstanding between you 2. We had a bonsai workshop last Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. If you have 2 people, 2 club members, do a class for 4 hours, that's where you get your 8 hours.
That is wrong.
Well, you talk,
I will talk to Kim.
please.
That is not what it
Because
says.
he says you were incorrect.
Well, I'm telling you, Kenton is incorrect. We've got to have a class. We've got to have 2 classes. And one of them I thought we would do in conjunction with the festival, because we're going to be there anyway, and we'll be there 4 hours. And the other one would be in conjunction with our show like we did last year.
Well, Johnny, once you get that squared away with him, we
I will
can
get it.
send an email.
I will do that.
Last Saturday at the Bonsai Club, we wanted to do one of our, we wanted 2 classes, but to do them before June 30th,
Right.
to apply to the next. And there were 3 of us members doing the class. There was 12 people that joined up. 3 of us, and 3 of us, we were there for 3 hours. We got 9 hours.
It says in the contract, I'm pretty sure.
I think he hasn't read the contract, the new
I
contract.
sort of agree with you.
So I will straighten that out with Kenton.
And also on the same subject, I said, Ken, how do we know you can't just call up here and find out what needs to be done? Do you need people to pull weeds?
You called Jim Woolley.
And he says, if your club will give me your membership email list, but you always want to ask your members if that's okay. He says, when we have something come up, he will send an email to everybody in that club. We need such and such done.
What they're doing now is they send it to me, and I've been calling people. But if you have time to volunteer, usually in the greenhouse, and that is so simple. You know, you go in the greenhouse and pull weeds for a few minutes. There's very little hot manual labor that any one of us could not accomplish. But Jim is always willing to work with volunteers. And if they, you know, like we did, how many, 8,000 bulbs for the Christmas bulbs. And we cut all those little stickers off and screwed in light bulbs. And I had a crew do that. But probably I need to start sending you all emails. I've got a whole lot of hours, don't get me wrong, but we need more.
Who's that?
Jim's Woolley is.
Who's he? That's a new name.
He's the head of the gardens.
Yeah, he's been here.
He's the head of the gardens. He does all of the he's head of the volunteers, period,
Really?
at Will Rogers.
See, I thought it was Kenton.
Kenton is the person in charge. You want to talk to the person in charge, or you want to talk to the person who knows what's going on?
What's his name again?
Jim Woolley.
Jim Woolley.
Jim's phone number is
Just a minute.
443-7090. Please don't call him on Monday morning and say, what can I do this afternoon? Okay. Make some arrangements.
Jim what?
Jim Woolley,
And what's his number again?
443-7090. Yes.
Do we have a log where we put it so that?
There is a log in Jim's office,
There's a log in the,
and there's also a log in Curly's. But you know, if you're working out there, sometimes you don't want to come up here, but
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we're
you,
supposed to be letting Keith know too when we've done volunteer hours.
no, I just go in, I go in once a month and tell you how many hours we had so far.
Oh,
okay.
For both this club and the bonfire.
okay.
So, everybody be thinking about doing some volunteer work here. We get credit for doing a lot of things. Okay. Announcements. You had an announcement. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Going back to the class being taught by us,
Right.
we have classes every meeting. Could we not use one of these?
No. No, it's got to be a plan. They're going to advertise it. They advertise it, so we've got to give them time. We've got to say we're going to do this, and then we've got to give them time to send it out on their website that this class is being offered.
And you know, it gets posted when you get your utility bill, those classes that come up on your utility bill on the little flyer, and there are a couple of classes are going on here.
Yes,
When am I gonna get a copy of the contract?
it's, you don't get one, Janice got it.
No, I don't.
He gave you that contract.
So he never gave, I asked 3
Well, I do have a copy of it. I've got a copy. But he did say that he sent that to you in an email. And that was,
It wasn't.
remember when you called and said, I don't have it, you know?
It wasn't a signed contract, and
It is signed. Only the last page, the two.
But it's not in the format, he sends it in this format that you can't open up in.
Okay, well, I can open it up, so I've got it. Okay.
Well, I need a copy and so does Mary.
Okay, I'll get those to you. I thought Jenna had it and it was done. Okay. Announcements. Yes.
Quick. Don't miss the September's meeting. I have Frank,
Clark.
Fred.
Fred
Clark,
Clark.
California will be here. My mind's going down.
We need to really advertise that. We don't want to bring him in we need a bunch of people.
Yeah, he's
That's
the expert on catechesis. And one of the Orchid Digest magazine, just 6 months or so ago, the whole magazine was about catechesis.
He does the black one, you know, he hybridized that, and it's Fred Clark After Dark.
Yeah.
So let's have a good turnout for him, please.
I've also asked 2 other speakers for later this year. Peter Lynn from Texas, who has a professional phalaenopsis, and David Bird, he'll be up at the Tulsa show, who has a business, and he grows his orchids in a cave. Well, I got an email.
Jenna has been there, haven't you? Jenna went to that.
Well, Peter Lynn emailed us and he can't make it.
Oh.
Then I gave him 3 months, June, July, August, or October. Peter Lynn, I have not heard from Mr. Bird, and I've sent him 2 polite
Emails.
let us know. I haven't heard from him.
Well, we'll do
Don't miss
something.
September.
But Fred Clark will be here, and let's have a turnout for him.
I got one more question about
Yes.
West Boulevard. Are we selling orchids or not?
We are going to be in the greenhouse part, and I wondered does everybody have an orchid that they're not crazy about that they could donate rather than ordering orchids this time, or do you want to order those 10 orchids?
We usually bought them at a discount
Sarah's not gonna be here.
Well, Sarah's offered to.
Sarah, somebody will be here. We can do it either way.
Yeah.
We can do it either way, but I really do think we need to do this class because that's 8 hours and I will get that worked out for you. Of course, if you got 9 hours, that's all eight's all you get anyway. It's not 8 per person, it's 8 per class.
Well, we three went in the office, signed up, each one of us put down 3 hours, and said, there's 9 hours for you all.
Okay, well,
Well, just let us know.
you're better off with the 9 hours, frankly.
Yeah, I know.
But it's gotta be counted as a class, so I'll work through that.
You know, we don't need a lot of orchids to sell at festival, and we usually have, if Repotney sends their
8 or 10.
donation, we have potting materials available for sale too.
Okay, we'll work on that. This isn't orchids. I've put hearts up here. Everybody please take 2 hearts, write or 4. You can write your name and maybe your birthplace so they will all come from Oklahoma. And maybe a little note. There are 2 little girls. There's a family that have 2 children, both needing heart transplants. One little girl got her heart transplant and the other one is waiting. And every time somebody gets 100 hearts, they send them, and these little girls are putting them in a box. 1 for each child, at least. Don't misunderstand that it's 1 heart. It's 2 hearts for every child. I mean, every time we send 100, we send 200 hearts every time we send. And we need more people signing hearts. We're running out of people. So these little girls, the minute they get those, sit down and read them and say what they're saying. And if there's a note on them, they get so excited. And they put them in their plastic, I think it's a shoebox. But anyway, they're trying to get a shoebox full of hearts for these little girls. So these hearts are up here. If you're picking one up for child 1, please pick up one for child 2 and put your name and whatever. If you feel enthusiastic and you want to write a note, pick one up for child 1 and child 2. Their mother would appreciate it if the colors are about the same because little girls fight over color. They need heart transplants, but they're still kids.
Where are these little girls?
In a month, I can't remember, in Massachusetts, Minnesota, somewhere. I can't remember. My friend takes care of it. It's something else I don't have to take care of. So anyway, I've been taking them to all the garden clubs. Please pick up 2 or 4 hearts and write something on them before you leave. There's all sorts of colors up here. Please make sure your colors are similar. All right, they're little girls after all. Thank you. Okay, our program. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Okay, our program today is Bill, right?
I think.
Okay.
Microphone, Bill.
Oh, there's no way in hell I'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Talk loud.
Push the green button, it's off.
Pardon?
I'm talking, I need to just push the green button in.
It's off.
I'll put it in the kitchen at a few minutes.
I was told to tell you how you can grow these things and kill them.
I could have given that program.
I can tell you how to do it really quickly or really slowly. And Keith was telling me that he wanted me to basically forget about all this other stuff that we did as green growers and tell you how I grow them in my greenhouse. This is from the OOS. I punched holes in it so that, there's two different pages there that everybody can have one. It's really good. There's basically just minor stuff that I do that's different from what they got printed down. Starting off, Tolumnias. Does anybody know why we call all the different ones that we're talking about today Tolumnias? The logic behind all that? Because there's a whole lot of different plants in here that go in with Tolumnias that we see today that are not Tolumnias. Originally, they were called variegata because of the flowers, the different changes in the flowers. And you saw on the one slide so many different varieties of the same species. Okay. Then there's one that's based on the shape of the leaves. You take a cross section, equitant, I think that mostly means, a triangle type shape. And another one that they started out with, and I don't know which one is right or which one is first, it means that it is like a person riding a saddle on a horse, because the leaves, are basically equidistant, a person like a person's leg covering the saddle, which is the pseudopulp is what they're talking about. So the name that we use today on Tolumnias, they are crosses with Tolumnias, Comesias, Rodriguesias, and several other ones, and I don't even know what they are. But if 75% of the plant is from breeding of Tolumnia, it's all called Tolumnia, because the flowers all look alike based on the shape, size, and color. Most of the original species are white, pink, and yellow. And now you've got speckles and browns and reds and all this other stuff. And some of these plants, as far as light, the 5 different deals, but light, it ranges everywhere from Cattleya light to Phalaenopsis light. And if you look at some of these, you can see the reddish tint on this one here. It shows the effect of sunlight on it. These are grown in the greenhouse about 6 feet away from our wet wall that goes all the way across the greenhouse. And in the summer, the temperature there is probably at the most 90 degrees, probably 85, 80. This one over here is a species. This is the Europhyllum. We got this from Byron Rinke, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
But he was here one time giving a talk.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's a little bit longer than that. But I've given several people pieces of this. This is one of those that does not grow like these little babies without, space between the new plants, the rhizomes and stuff. This thing, well, you can see from right here to up here. And I have a feeling, I gave some people starts of this one again this afternoon, but the eyes are still good on this, so it probably will send out a new kiki back up in here this next year. And the kikis will bloom also. And here's one with a dead one spike on it. It was about 3 inches long. But this will have the yellow flowers on it. This is one of the initial species that is used to make all these different colors here. The watering on these things, you get in Texas every day. I mean, and now you can't overwater these. If you water them in the morning, they'll be dry by noon, and they'll be okay. I got the plants that I got, the small ones from Florida. They were talking about they're going to change their watering habits because in Florida, it's a lot more humid. Here in Oklahoma and Texas, we're in the desert. And they were watering every day. And apparently they were having some problems with rotting the plants, especially if you get the cooler winter and the humidity and the rain and stuff like that. These plants, you can tell. What would you describe? Like, this is a species from the Caribbean. What would it tell you by just looking at the growth habit of where this plant would grow, and how would it do well enough to reproduce itself?
High humidity.
Pardon me?
High humidity.
High humidity.
Moving air from the trees.
Not in a pot.
Not in a
Not
pot.
in a pot.
Have you seen pictures of the jungle, the long limbs of the trees that the limb looks like it's the size of my pencil finger at the end, but it's this big around. The twig epiphytes. If you notice this one here, there's very few roots that are actually on the mount. I mean, that mount is, as big as my thumb. And the roots are just all out in the air. This one is a prime example. So, they don't like being crowded. So, a lot of humidity, they get rained on every day. And then they get this full sun. I mean, these babies are out there. I don't know how they can live through a hurricane at 150 miles an hour and rain for 3 days, and probably a lot of them covered up, in the flood, and then come back and bloom and then go through a drought, for several months. But it's just the humidity and the air that they have. These people in Florida were talking about they're going to try to cut back on the actual watering so that they can just have more humidity around the roots. And that's basically what we need to do. If you do that, there's really, as far as insects, that they just really don't have a lot. Because the leaves, they're leathery. They'll hold a lot of moisture. Gabriel was just telling me a while ago that, and I had not paid any attention to him, that his leaves, he watched, if he didn't water them, they would get smaller. They would not be a triangular shape anymore. They would actually shrink up a little bit more. I didn't pay that much attention. As long as you keep these things from shriveling, you're just fine. The only time I've had any trouble, and this is how you can kill them instantly. If you take something like Saigon 2E and you can dump these things. If you get any bugs on aphids, scale, or mealybugs, about the only things that will get on. These things are small enough where you can take them in a 5-gallon bucket at the most and just dunk it and just slosh it around and do that. For 10 or 15 seconds, pull it back up, hang it up, let it dry, just like you're watering it. And you can do that every 3 days for 3 or 4 days, and you take care of the situation. And that's the only kind of insects that we've had any problem with. Malathion, you can do that. Saigon, on any orchid, and we've gone through this. Cattleyas, you spray, and they tell you it's photosynthetic,
Sensitive.
toxic. You spray it at night and then let it dry. And if you water it the next time during the day, it will be as though you had sprayed it in the morning, and it will stop the growth. You can see the plant quit growing. And all of the cork pieces over there, that happened 15 years ago. We had all those things full of Equitants. They were doing beautifully. Tim Casper, my orchid friend at Iowa Park, sprayed with Saigon and during the day, and we had told him, no, you can't do that for whatever reason. We carried all those out in less than a week. It turned them yellow, and that was gone. That has been outside. All those pieces have been outside for 15 years, and I planted these things on it. After it's washed off, but after the first watering, you're okay again. But it's a very quick way to kill it.
So Saigon, I've never used Saigon, it's a pesticide, right?
I think they yanked it off the market, the 2E that we used. It's really not supposed to be on the market, although we have several jugs.
Well, it's, I think you can still get it, but it's...
Well, I use Bayer.
Malathion, orthene, it's fine. But, just, don't, I would say, just to be sure, I wouldn't do it in the morning. I'd wait and do it in the evening, any of them, just to be sure.
Pesticide.
Yeah, and I don't know whether Malathion would bother it or not, but, it's a contact spray, I don't know, maybe.
Really? I use Bayer Advanced, because it does aphids, spider mites, scale, blah, 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 blah. Huh? Oh, this is yeah. Bayer Advanced, I'm just wondering what they would do.
I've never tried that, I just hadn't had to use it.
But Saigon, you've had bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can, basically can even get it, because I think that's off the market.
It could be a restricted pesticide.
Oh, that's why I've never seen it.
But, let's see.
How do you feed them, Bill?
Pardon me?
How do you feed them?
Okay, so whenever you're in the jungle, they're not, how much are they getting? Unless the bird lights on the cotton picking thing, it's not going to get anything. These things require very little. I use the same stuff on this that everything in the greenhouse gets. I use 5 pounds of sun bulbs, orchid fertilizer, and that's diluted into 5 gallons of water, and then that is diluted by about 178 to 190 parts, for everything.
Can we convert that to a 4th teaspoon per gallon?
Yes.
You can do that. You can do that. You can use less.
Even less. Very little fertilizer.
Pardon me?
So in other words, very little fertilizer.
Very little. This is tree fern. Okay. If you use this, you don't need, you use fresh water.
Really?
Because there's enough nutrients in this stuff to take care of it.
How we doing?
That's just how little it takes. And we've been doing this for since 1983. And, you know, these right here were some of those that, these three big ones, were some of those that survived. But I mean, you know, we took orchid plants out of the greenhouse in a wheelbarrow. You know, that's how good it was as far as killing them. And let me show you this one. You know, you can grow them in anything. Terry, would you hold that up? Right there.
This,
Yeah. That is cactus. I've got a Miltonia that I've had on a piece like that for 10 years in the greenhouse. And, you know, I tried to find some more, but that's been hanging outside, laying outside for 15 years. And, you know, it's still good. And all the holes in there, it'll let those things, you know, attach really, really well. And if it does rot, what are you going to have? You're going to have the same situation that you have here and here. It's still a twig epiphyte. You're not going to be able to overwater it. And this one is one of those that doesn't grow like the Europhyllum, so I'm going to take a piece of it off just to show you how I would repot it. And this thing is, it's not going to like it because I'm cutting it off at the knees. But this is how I would repot any of these. The only problem you'll get sometimes is if they get too far away with these right here, this particular growing type, they might start rotting from the middle of the clump.
yeah.
And that's because it stays too wet. And if that has any, if you have any problem like that, if you see something like that starting to happen, all you have to do is just take it and it'll probably just fall apart. And then you'll get 5, 6, 7, 8, or 10 new ones.
Now, Bill, for feeding them, you do that each time or every other or third water?
They get fed every time.
Every time?
And sometimes we'll run out of fertilizer, and you know it might be a week.
Yeah.
And we just use straight city water.
City water. Now, what's TDS of your city water?
What
I have no idea. It's all the water I've got, so that's what it is.
Well, my thought was, they get rained on every day, that TDS is pretty low.
Yeah.
But if you do it from tap water, that TDS can be pretty high. Or
Well,
can be high.
what was it? Whenever Wichita Falls started mixing RO water with Lake Arrowhead water, people were able to, like if they were using it in industrial situations, they were able to recycle it 7 times compared to what they were before. So it probably doesn't have that much.
Well, I was thinking on city water, if you're using that, would you be afraid of salt buildup?
Well, you can see that these right here have been in there for 10 years. There's the buildup I have on the clay pot. The cork, I can't see any.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, there's just nothing there.
Well, Oklahoma City, well, then you're lucky, because Oklahoma City water is very hard. It has lots of total dissolved salts, TDS.
Yeah.
See those little clay pots? The whole outside that pot can be covered with lime at the end of one growing season with Oklahoma City water.
Do you soak them before you use them? Because they have
Yes,
salts
yeah, I
in
do.
them.
But I use rainwater, but there are certain things I just use Oklahoma City water, and they're not orchids. There's line on both of those pots at the end of the year.
I think.
Even though I soak the clay when they're
Do
brand
you use
new,
vinegar when you soak them?
you're supposed to, you know.
Because the salt is inside the clay.
Yeah.
That's why they get,
Still in there.
I've been thinking that a couple of years, yeah. My next question is, since so many of these are mounted, and that even in the presentation I read, mounted because they like to get wet and then dry out, just like a band, dry out. Some of yours are in clay pots. My question to you is, do you water the same frequency all your Tolumnias, whether they're mounted or in clay pots?
These, the Tolumnias are all on the same 8 by 3 foot screen like this, hanging just like this. They're right beside each other.
And you water all of them, whether they're in a clay pot or mounted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
When I water out there, everything in there, I don't care if it's Cattleya, Tolumnia, Jewel Orchid, it all gets soused with the same water.
The same frequency.
Yep, when I water, the whole greenhouse gets watered, period.
Same fertilizer and everything.
Yep, same proportion over there.
We can give a lot of plants that gets to that point.
Once in a while, I skip a cactus or something, everybody else gets doused.
How strong is it fertilizer?
So Bill,
It's in some parts per million,
Yeah.
and dosatron, I don't remember the literature what it says.
my Tolumnia that I have, I spray it every day, but I'm spraying with RO water, and then it gets fertilized when everybody else does every other week. Should there be fertilizer in the spray that I spray it with every day or not?
should you fertilize it with,
Every day I spray, my Tolumnia is on a 1-foot cord, and so I spritz it every day in the morning. And then once a week, or once every other week, it actually gets fertilizer. But are you saying that I should probably put fertilizer in my spray jar for that one, or not? Not every day?
yeah, I would. I mean, because, you're not, I know you use distilled water.
Or, yeah.
And I don't think that you're going to get that stuff. You have to hot
No, it's on a 1-foot cord.
or, yeah, I don't think you're going to have
So
any trouble.
it wouldn't be too much fertilizer to spray it with that every day?
Quarter of a teaspoon to a gallon or less.
Now, you tied that on with fishing line, right?
Yeah. And I didn't cut it long enough because what I would usually do is put 5 or 6 pieces around there. These things cannot move. If they move when you're watering, you're going to damage the growing tips of these new roots. So take it and,
Now, I think you didn't put that on a bed of sphagnum moss, did you?
just a little bit, just so, of course, most of the roots are out here in the open. A lot of times I won't even put sphagnum moss on there. I'll just stick them in the crevice, and because the plants.
You just fertilize the plant, the root area.
Pardon me?
You just fertilize
no.
the fruit, root area.
Leaves and all.
Leaves and everything.
They get sprayed
In the morning.
And these things, last month and the month before, there were probably 8 or 10 different ones in bloom at the same time. So mine have gotten through a lot of them. This one is branching. It's got some new buds coming. This is doing it over here. This one has bloomed. Another one, here's another spot coming. Even those small ones over there, they are basically, mature plants. They're not mature as the great big ones were. But these things should bloom this year later on in the summer or whatever. And there's usually some blooming all the time. And it makes it so pretty whenever you walk in and you see the whole wall, and there's just 5 or 6 of them different colors. It's just like a rainbow.
Did you say, remind me on your line, you say as much as Cattleyas, or maybe a little bit less like Oncidiums?
No, it's there's nothing between it and